Oh, hello everyone, hello, and check it out. Today, finally get around to talking about this, Dead Rising 2 Off the Record, which is a spin-off of the original Dead Rising 2, that is. Off the record. It has to be said that it's kind of a shameless cash-in because it's really reusing a lot of assets. There is new content in it, and they don't pull off shitty DLC tactics with it. But as far as I know, there's no add-on content for this, so nothing really there. But there is additional content versus the original. Of course, there's the main fact that it's supposed to be Dead Rising 2 story, why, as Frank West, who is, for some reason, depicted much older in a lot of his art. But he doesn't, like, his cover picture, he's, like, suffering baldness here in the front. But it's like, it's not even like that in the game, so I don't even know why it's like that. But anyway, it also derails a little from what Dead Rising 2's plot was. But for the most part, it does stay on course. So, for a good chunk of the game, it will be very similar to Dead Rising 2. The survival list, I think there's only 4 new survivals. And a few survivals were dropped out because of different things. For example, there were 2 survivals in the original Dead Rising 2 that are in cutscenes. Like the big fat guy in the opening, he's also in one of the endings. Well, during the scene where the zombies break in to the safe house, he's one of the defenders, and he can die, thus making a strange, wait a minute, that guy's dead, so how is he there? So they replaced those 2 with 2 other survivors and off the record to make that not seem as awkward. But yeah, there were a few little cosmetic changes. Also, the bunny girl who was in the original Dead Rising 2 was taken out because she was modeled off a real bunny girl model Playboy girl or something, and they no longer had the right to do that. So she, like, her character name in Dead Rising 2 is the same, but she has a completely different model. There was a completely new zone that's this bizarre theme park, which is what all the artwork in the background is of the game. The Uranus, the Uranus little carnival park place. There were several rides and new toys and outfits you can get there. There's also this new locker system where you can get additional rewards and stuff. Now, you don't have, like, Chuck's little goal to take care of in off the record. So, if you played the original Dead Rising 2, you didn't like that, you won't have to deal with it. However, if you know anything about Dead Rising, you know Frank West is infected, and he has to take it. So you still need to collect it, but you can just use it on yourself. So there's no, I need to run back and get home medication. You just, okay, back then. Honestly though, it comes to the question is if this game's worth picking up, because, you know, it is generally using a lot of this content from Dead Rising 2. There's a few new lines, few events we changed, and then the end just goes, whoa! Like, bizarre twist. I kind of like how they actually foreshadow it, too. In a way, throughout the game, they're actually foreshadowing the change in the ending. So, there is a completely different boss before the final event that happens with TK, which is also a little different, just a little. But overall, that didn't seem so different. But the boss before the TK overtime day is a completely different boss from what was in Dead Rising 2, so there's that to look forward to. So it's not 100% the same. There is some different and additional content, but basically, do you really need to play this game to complete your Dead Rising experience? At the current moment, not really, because the only way this game's gonna matter is if they're gonna pull Legend of Zelda. It's like, oh, we can have alternate timelines, the main story, and this bizarre spin-off timeline. If they do that, then maybe it will matter a bit. But if they don't, then, well, I guess they don't. But, I enjoyed Dead Rising 2 off the record, but I have to say, when I played Dead Rising 2, I never experienced any real bugs. I experienced quite a few odd things, and I don't know if they can happen in the original Dead Rising 2, or they just never did and happened in this. Like Snowflake the Tiger, like you can see in my Let's Play, when I was getting to the safe house, she just planted in the ground, wouldn't do anything. And I could do nothing to get her to move, so I had to go into the safe house, and I was hoping the loading screen would reset the AI pathfinding or something. But she just teleported to the safe house, so I didn't have to worry about that. But still, that was weird. Very weird. No, there were a few random things that happened that were just a little bizarre to me in Dead Rising off the record. I didn't experience anything that was game crushing. Also, like another example of something weird that happened to me, that again I'm not 100% sure whether it can or can't happen, Dead Rising 2, was that basically I did the casino mission and did the poker game and got those people and a few other people, and I was going back to the safe house through the casino, and the big fat chubby dude with the American flag short, he somehow, like, you know where there's like the three slot machines that are facing each other, there's three of them but they're all like connected in the corner, so there's like a little space technically in the middle but you can't ever get there. Somehow he got in that, and that's in my Let's Play, that's in my recording, and he somehow got stuck inside the three slot machines, and I couldn't get him out or glitch out or anything, and I ended up dying when I was going to try and transitionally load the screen to see if it would do something different. So I found this one a little more glitchier, but it wasn't completely game breaking, but it can be annoying. Can be annoying. Overall, considering now you can get brand new for about $19, that's definitely a reasonable price in my opinion, considering it uses a lot of content. If I remember correctly, it came out new for $39, so at that price point it wasn't too bad either, you know. It was a little cheaper because, you know, they reused a lot of assets in that. It's just more Dead Rising. Overall, there are some new fun toys. Like I said, there's new combinations and stuff you can do, along with a lot of the old ones. So, really, it's kind of more like a bizarre expansion pack to Dead Rising 2 than its own game. Though, it is basically the length of Dead Rising 2, so it is not just some short little teeny little add-on either. But, since a lot of it is technically repeated content, you know, did that, done that, maybe you said a different line to Frank and Frank gave you a different line, but you still fight and attack. Well, actually to be fair, some of the psychopaths do actually have new stuff they didn't do in Dead Rising 2, actually. A few of them do actually do a few different things, so I guess they did kind of mix it up to be fair a little. Just a bit. But overall, I would say it's worth picking up for like $20, maybe $30, you know. I wouldn't recommend getting it, you know, obviously like for $40 or so. That was its original launch price, I'm pretty sure. You know, by now it's immensely cheaper, but and obviously I got the PlayStation version, PlayStation 3 version, the 360 version of the original Dead Rising 2. I don't know if maybe that had anything to do with any glitches or anything. As far as I could tell through research, it does not really happen specifically to the PS3 version, so as far as I can tell, it's in both. But, oh, it's important to note that, again, it does continue to co-op, the online co-op that Dead Rising 2 introduced. And, interestingly, Chuck is still the, other killer, well, vice versa in the case. West, Frank was the second player, and in, Dead Rising 2, it was just no Chuck, but, they went with Chuck, which is a little bizarre, because Chuck is in Off the Record. He is in Off the Record, but his storyline has changed dramatically, so. But he is the second killer in co-op, or any form of multiplayer session you're doing. And, it is interesting to note that Frank West does not just have a copy-paste of Chuck's moveset. He really has a lot of his moves from the original Dead Rising that Chuck never got. So, like, the kick animation where Frank does like a, he does like a knee stomp thing where Chuck Green like does his kick body slam thing. So, it is interesting to know if you're going straight from Dead Rising 2 to Off the Record, that you're not going to have just a, oh, I'm Frank West, but, I do everything Chuck Norris can do. But, yeah. Overall, though, I do think it's a worthy thing to try for $20 or so. But aside from that, it doesn't really add much to the plot line. It's just a bizarre what-if situation. Unless they go the whole timeline kind of thing, like I said, with Zelda, like Zelda and that. So you do that, then maybe it would matter a little more to the storyline. But really, it's just a bizarre what-if situation. So, it's just... But, there was one thing I liked about the overtime day. It was before the fight with TK. I actually have to congratulate on the interesting implication of the beginning of the game and the end of the game with one event. Unlike Chuck Green that started in a slicer game thing or that, Frank West starts in this wrestling match with zombies in this arena of death traps and shit, and he has to fight them off. Well, what's interesting is this is like the tutorial for you. So, it's a very simple tutorial. You're getting a lot of toys in it. But what I liked interesting is they use it again before you fight TK. Like, you're in this interesting match of real survival now. Like, this shit is hit the fan. You get, like, barely anything to fight with. You got normal and the super powered gas zombies all trying to kill you ruthlessly. And you're barely getting any food or items and shit to fight them. You're really just literally trying to scourge everything humanly possible to survive this match. And I really did like that. It's kind of an interesting way to do that. And then you just get out eventually. It's a time survival event. And you get out and you fight TK pretty much the same like Chuck. Not exactly the same, but it's pretty much quite similar. It's not... Actually, though, I found it a lot easier, though, to do it as Frank. I'm not sure why. But anyway, that's pretty much what I have to say about Off the Record. It was enjoyable, but I'd say it's just only for really die-hard Dead Rising fans, Because it's not part of the real timeline or anything, and it's just a what-if scenario. But it is fun. It's still more Dead Rising, new toys, new area, and some new changes to Dead Rising 2's storyline. But I can only really recommend it if you're just really into Dead Rising. If you're not into Dead Rising, then you're probably just better off sticking with 2 since, it's part of the main storyline, and hopefully there's that Dead Rising 3 coming around the corner, I hope. Anyway, I hope you like any of my opinions I shared about Off the Record. So, until next time, I'll hopefully be doing something else. So anyway, next time.